Whenever life feels chaotic, there are three routines that keep me grounded, no matter how busy I get. Today, I'm sharing the physical activity, meal prep, and mindset practices that I consider non negotiables. Hey, and welcome. My name is Angelica, and I share real, actionable tips for living a balanced and authentic life. If you're looking for routines that are actually realistic and something that will actually make a difference, you're in the right place. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my approach to daily exercise and why I don't overcomplicate it, how I make meal prep quick, simple, and repeatable, and the mindset practices that set the tone for the day. When it comes to my physical activity, I like to set a routine that I follow that I don't need a question. I know what days I'm doing what. All I need to worry about is execution. So my current workout strategy is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I lift. Typically, I lift for about an hour. That's including prep and cardio as well. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I like to do more yoga and stretching. Saturdays and Sundays, really depending on the days, those are typically my rest days. However, I also will like to incorporate maybe something that's less intense, maybe just stretching or breathing exercises, maybe doing more wellness types of activities for myself, not necessarily physical activities. Saturdays and Sundays are dedicated to more kind of rest and relaxation. And I've allowed flexibility in my schedule as well, where I have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday routine that I follow. However, there are certain times through the month as I go through my menstrual cycles that my energy is just super low, and maybe I don't have the energy to lift weights or to be running or doing those types of things that I typically do on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So when I'm in those cycles, I allow myself the flexibility to do some yoga, do some Pilates, do something that may be lighter on my body and a little less draining as I'm already low on energy. I like to really pay attention to my body and see how I'm feeling. I also will push myself if I feel like I can do it as well. So it's really taking advantage of the days that you have the strength and you have the energy, while also caring for yourself when you're feeling like you don't have as much energy. Casual movement is also encouraged. I would say so often people kind of give it an all or nothing mindset where you feel like you have to do this killer workout in the gym or nothing else. Like a simple walk in nature is also really helpful and mindful. Any type of movement that you can do that suits you, that you feel comfortable doing, is definitely going to be something that you should try to do more often of. You have to think of the physical activities in your life as a lifelong journey and not something that you're doing for X amount of time period. When you zoom out to look at it, you realize that there are different ways in which your body needs to be taken care of at different times of the year, different years. So that needs to be taken into consideration because at the end of the day, we are only humans. When it comes to meal prep, my routine, I like to keep it very simple so that it's easy to follow. For breakfast, I have a very staple routine. Either I will make eggs or I will have oatmeal or I will have a protein drink. It doesn't really change outside of that. If it's a special day, maybe I'm going somewhere out to grab breakfast, but for the most part, those are the three options I like to give myself so that when in the morning I decide between the three, depending on how much energy or how much food I want or how quick I need to make it. Depending on the day, I like to give myself that flexibility in the morning. Lunch and dinner are the foods that I plan and prep for the entire week. I have a list of about 5 to 10 different meals that I will change out from week to week, and depending on where I am within my menstrual cycle, I may choose different types of foods. Also, depending on the time of year, how my health is doing, I may change out different things at different times, but overall this list tends to stay the same. I like to keep prep and recipes very simple so that they're easy to follow and delicious to eat, while also being healthy, mindful of protein, carbs, fats, nutrition, and vitamins. I like to use different spices as I'm cooking as well. I have a spice rack, which makes this very easy for me because I have all the labels, and as I'm cooking, I just mix them in. When you're meal prepping and you're eating the same thing every day, you want to make sure that it tastes good. So involving spices is going to be a crucial part in making sure that you actually eat this, because guaranteed, if your food does not taste good, you're not going to want to eat it, and likely you won't eat it, and you'll end up eating something else and end up wasting food, time, and energy. You want to treat meal prep as self-care and not a punishment, because it's truly so rewarding for your mind and your body. I like to make sure that I do at least one mindful practice a day, and there's a list of things that I do that I like to choose from on a day-to-day basis, and not necessarily tie myself down to one in particular, but rather flow with the moment, and depending on how I'm feeling or what is calling to me more is what I will choose. So that can vary from things such as like journaling, deep breathing, doing yoga, going for a walk, things that keep me mindful and regulated so that I can ensure that I'm staying grounded. I am a morning person, so typically I like to do these things in the morning. At this moment, I don't necessarily have a specific routine as to when I practice this. This is more of something that has become a daily practice for me, in the sense that it just happens throughout the day where I feel as though I need it the most, or I remind myself this is a good moment for me to practice a deep breathing, or a good moment for me to kind of reflect. And I've implemented little things within my life that this will happen to me inevitably. A practice that I do implement daily is just checking in with myself and asking, how am I feeling? And really paying attention to the signals of my body and my interactions throughout the day to see if there's anything that feels turned up or out of balance. And if I feel anything, then I know that something is happening, even if I don't know exactly what it is, and I will allow myself to take a moment. And these little daily reflections within the day, even if you just close your eyes for 1 second or keep your eyes open, question yourself, how am I feeling? Am I being reactive? How are my interactions with others going today? Am I irritated? And if you can feel any tension when you ask yourself these questions, let that be a moment where you take a deep breath. And even if it's just one deep breath, one is better than none. If you have the time, go for a walk or do something that brings you calmness and relaxation to make sure that you're centered. Which one of these 3 routines do you already implement daily in your life, or that you're thinking about working towards implementing? Let me know in the comment section below. You don't have to overwhelm your life to do better. You need to start small and work from there. A few consistent, simple routines, most importantly done with intention, can take you such a long way. Thanks for spending time with me today, and if this has helped, please like, subscribe, and turn on your alert notifications so you can be notified once I drop a new video. See you next time.